All right, we are live. Big LSU post-game show tonight. What more can you say about this fantastic win for Brian Kelly in his first-year program? I think there was a lot of media people who thought LSU could win this game tonight or today into the evening, but nobody could have predicted a real shellacking. And we had some fantastic alterations to that defense made at halftime, and we've got a lot to talk about tonight. Jaden Daniels with another huge performance. Harold Perkins continues to wow people. LSU's offensive line, the running game for LSU had over 250 yards rushing, and LSU pulls away in the second half, and it was absolutely electric in Tiger Stadium. A perfect day for a football game. And if you were there in the stadium, and those of you who saw it on TV, you were not disappointed. This was absolutely a big win for LSU. Loads of recruits. I saw them all down on the field. Of course, there was some students that got into the field, but onto the field after the game. But a lot of excitement. I believe this now has LSU ahead of schedule of where you think the program should be right now. And so, I mean, a lot of people think that maybe they can get to 9 wins. Let's take it 1 week at a time and we'll see where things go. But big win. Let's go ahead and bring in Preston. Preston, what's your thoughts?
Well, where you really hit it on the head is what this means for the program. This is absolutely way ahead of schedule. Brian Kelly inherited a roster with 39 scholarship players on the field. He had about 52 players coming back, but all those guys were coming off of injury and all that good stuff. Most of his starters weren't on this team, and they certainly weren't playing by the end of the year last year. So to go out and beat the 7th-ranked team in the country, overrated or not, to beat them by 25, you went on a 42-3 run. To go on a 42-3 run over Southern is impressive. To do it against the 7th-ranked team in the country is flat out impressive. This team is way ahead of schedule, and they're getting better. Because remember that post-game show driving home from New Orleans after Florida State, and we both were kind of making excuses, I guess is what we'll say. This team with all these new players and all these new coaches, and we were talking about, well, they should get better as the year goes on. There's a lot to improve upon. Let's see if they go do it. Well, it really seems like they're doing it. And that's just such a good sign for this program. Thanks for all the super chats coming in, by the way, Mike. Did you want to get to those, or you got something you're working on in there?
Yeah, let me go ahead and get to them. Joel Robinson right out the bat with a big one. Thank you. 1999, go Tigers. It made a long flight from New York a lot more enjoyable. I can't wait to see the replay and to see what was being said on TV. But that was a dominant second half performance and put Ole Miss away. And what more can you say? Big thank you for that, Joel. Absolutely. Andy Whitaker with the super chat. Absolutely love our head coach. I know it's Ole Miss, but this was a massive win. Best win since 2019. Bama, this win has impact for the next 2-3 years. As always, appreciate you guys. Thank you, Andy. And thanks again, Joel. And, of course, this show is brought to you each and every week by attorney Kenneth P. Haines. And, of course, he also sends in one. Don't think anybody saw this version of LSU coming this season. And, look, there are a lot of players on that field that aren't typical LSU players. Defensive backs, those aren't. You there?
Yeah, I think I lost you for a second, Mike. It could have been just my screen, but definitely lost you. Something about a lot of defensive players and Matt House.
Yeah, Matt House made some adjustments, and but what I was getting at is the DBs for LSU are not what you're used to seeing at LSU.
No doubt.
And
although Fouché was tonight, did you see that pick? And he's been kind of quiet.
That might have been the pivotal play of the game, and so. Because the last thing you want to do is get into a trading score game. But, the way LSU's offense played in the second half, they probably could have done that. But it was when the defense settled in and locked in and made some adjustments. There were some key personnel changes. Savion Jones was in there a good bit, making some plays. Harold Perkins is just you
He's a
can't
freak.
you can't help but watch that kid and think and just not realize how crazy good he is. So,
Did you see Lane Kiffin's quote on him?
No,
After
I
the
didn't.
game, they asked him about what they did to help slow down Ole Miss's offense in the second half. He said, well, they finally figured out they should play number 40 some more. Yeah. It's just, I enjoy that they're finding ways to actually get him involved in this scheme. Like, remember Kendall Beckwith as a freshman? How they just put his hand in the dirt on third down and said, go get him. Well, they're actually playing him at linebacker, which is good, and that's a tough position to learn as a freshman. You just really hope that learning curve, like, just please learn the entire playbook. He's so good.
Kenny says I'm delaying big time. Is that still happening?
Yeah, let us know if that keeps it going. Put on Barry Barbier's comment before that.
Let me find it.
Here, I'll pop it up there. Preston pick Ole Miss. Great insight. I picked Ole Miss 31-21. I did. And I told people, I gave y'all an assignment. If I'm wrong, find me on Twitter, find me on my show, come harass me. Y'all done an okay job. Okay job. I was hoping more people would come find me. I'm more than happy to be wrong about this. LSU proved me wrong and proved a lot of people across the country wrong. Marcus Spears and Ryan Clark were almost right when they said LSU by 50.
Yeah, this is I saw. Look, there's a huge list of recruits. I saw Tavion Galloway after I came out of the locker room after player interviews. Galloway was standing on the back end line with Brian Kelly, just the two of them talking. Of course, Chillicothe, Ohio, one of the top tight ends in the nation, already committed to the class of 2024. That kid had a blast. I watched him in the back. I saw him earlier in the back of the end zone at the end of the game. Him and all the other recruits were just having a blast down on the field at the end of the football game.
I'm sure they did enjoy it. I mean, they got stormed on tonight. Which, by the way, what are your thoughts on storming the field after a win here? My first gut is
I don't like it.
It wasn't a big enough win. It wasn't a big enough win, but it was mostly just students. It wasn't a full storming. And I do think about what those students have been through. Unless you're a senior, you haven't had shit to celebrate.
Jake Guillory, great win today. Need to clean up all the yeah, that was awful.
That one drive, ugh. But a lot of those were really bad calls. The one interception, what's his name had, Greg Brooks had, that was a ticky-tack call. I think I saw 11 penalties or 13 penalties for 181 yards tonight. That's unbelievable.
Brian Kelly had a
18.
I was watching him during a commercial break, really giving the crew a big talking to. Brian Turner, did Kelly establish himself as an elite play caller after tonight's win?
Well, he's not calling plays.
He's not calling plays, but Denbrock is, and Sloan's up there. Hankton's down on the field. Now, I will say there's no doubt Brian Kelly's involved in the game plan late in the week or throughout the week.
Yeah, no doubt.
But look, a lot of this is just execution.
Well, and make no mistake, no play call doesn't go through Brian Kelly. Like, he hears it and he has to approve or veto every play call. And he probably doesn't want to micromanage. He talked about this in some interviews this week. He doesn't want to micromanage and really kill the play caller's flow of the game. But he's not just listening to what he's calling and just saying, okay, whatever. He has to approve of it.
Absolutely. Already reached out to some recruits tonight, and some of the feedback we're getting already is the kids that were there had fantastic visits. I'm gonna have a big piece up as soon as I can, and we'll add to that piece as we get them. Kenny Haines says it was Bush League running on the field. We own Ole Miss, not a team that would ever deserve a storm. I agree.
Yeah, not worth it.
It was all students. I was right there when they were all flowing down from the stands. It was all college kids.
Which the sentiment is, act like you've been there before. I assume most of those students haven't been there before.
Yeah, Mike Collins Perkins is unbelievable. What a playmaker.
No doubt about that.
Carvis Durr, Major Burns is going to solidify the back end once he's back. We are trending in the right direction. Yeah, I would like to see him back for sure. Let me I'm scrolling through some of these again. New comments down here. Preston, you added again. Hold your thoughts until it is finished. I'm not sure what that means.
I think he means I'm cutting you off a little bit. But I think I've been cut off by Mike Scarborough plenty of times on this show. So,
well, you also can't hold your liquor, so quit pouring glasses.
Hey, easy there. We got to promote Tremonti's. They got the good stuff going. Jefferson Reserve, y'all go get it. Single barrel bottle.
You guys do us a big favor. Hit that like.
Hey, Mike, you're lagging a little bit. Pretty sure what he's saying there is hit that like button, hit subscribe. Y'all go support the channel, all that good stuff. We are growing very fastly. We are at 14.8 thousand subscribers. Y'all get us to 15K. One of the fastest growing YouTube channels in the LSU community. Mike, are you back?
Yeah, I kind of cut out there. I don't know what's going on. My speed is fantastic, but for some reason we're a little glitchy.
You're on that LSU broadband grid now, and people are celebrating a little too hard, streaming all the other games now.
I passed up on Nicholson the big barstool thing at Fred's, and man, what a zoo it is in Tigerland right now.
Oh, I bet with the barstool guys there.
Absolutely. Brian Turner, how impressed were you with LSU on both sides of the lines of scrimmage? If you saw the interview I posted on our YouTube channel with Will Campbell, that group is really coming together. Brian Kelly singled out Brad Davis and the work that he's done, and I think they're just going to get better each and every week. That's what we said during the off season. I think Emory Jones is getting better each and every week. Will was offensive player last week in the SEC, offensive player of the week, and so how when the polls come out tomorrow, they're going to be in the top 25. How big of a jump do they make from out of the top 25 into it?
Let's put it by this:
are they on the back end, or are they right in the top 20?
Without looking at the teams and who lost and all that good stuff, I'll say 19, and they deserve that. I'm looking at Ole Miss, Mississippi State, who LSU beat. They had the same record. They're 24th. Why wasn't LSU 24th? The AP needs to get their act together. Going into Bama, I'd be surprised if LSU's not in the top 15, at least because by then the college football playoff poll will be out. So that should be a top 15 matchup.
What is Texas A&M, South Carolina? We got a final on that yet?
I don't know. I can't. I have the TV set on the Bama game. That's 27-0.
The Youngblood 46, Mike Preston, do you think there's any chance Jaden Daniels may decide to come back for one more season? Imagine how much more talent Brian Kelly could surround him with. We talked about that, Brian and I, in the press box, Brian Lazar. And when Jaden Daniels first talked to Coach Kelly and the staff about coming to LSU, the plan was for him to play 1 year and go pro. He already played 3. At Arizona State. Could you convince him to come back if you had an idea that maybe his draft status would be rounds 4 through 6? How high of a draft pick would he be? I think the only way you could convince him to come back is if he was going to be a lower round draft pick, and you could probably have an NIL deal here that pays him more than some of those NIL rounds.
Hey, that was one thought I wasn't even thinking about NIL, because those fringe round guys, if you have some big NIL deals, I mean, you can sometimes make as much as, a 7th round draft pick. I think Jaden Daniels right now is going to be like a 4th round draft pick. That's what he's looking like right now. He's got some mechanic issues. He's got some accuracy issues. We saw on that first drive, he missed 2 receivers. He missed Brian Thomas on an open touchdown. Now, that was a little bit of a tougher pass, but he really underthrew him. PI bailed him out there. But then he missed Keyshawn Butte on a very simple, easy throw. And then the one on the back of the end zone, that was not his fault. That was just a tough throw to make, and the defender made a play. But throws like that, he's kind of missed all year, and I think he kind of is what he is. I don't think he necessarily has anything to gain draft stock-wise by coming back next year. I don't think he's going to do anything to improve his mechanics and accuracy. I think he just is what he is, and I think that, a team either likes what he does or he doesn't.
I think we both just cut out just now. I'm not understanding. We've been having some YouTube problems, and it's not us. YouTube worldwide has had problems 2 of the last Saturdays, and again on Tuesday. And it's so we'll see how this plays. Palermo Trapani, I disagree 100% with Preston. Rob Boudreaux, hello, fellas. Hell of a game. Wasn't supposed to, and I had a wedding to go to, but got out of it this morning because my wife's sister and husband asked me to go with them. Well, you know what they say about people who schedule weddings in the fall in the South?
They're the worst.
I made my mom move her wedding date to my stepdad. She did.
Well, you have a career in it, and that's your mom. I could see that. I could see that being like legit. Like, no, mom, I can't just skip on my income today.
LSU 337, JD comes back, knows transfers, and Howard is the guy after. We'll see. I just don't know that Jaden Daniels wants to come back. And here's the other part with Jaden. I think it's a deal where if he, let's say hypothetically, his maximum grade is a 4th rounder. Well, his maximum grade after next season will be a 4th. So how badly does he want to start making NFL money and get on a team?
That's what I agree. I just don't think I don't think he'll ever be able to improve himself into like a 1st-round draft pick. I think he just lacks some mechanics and downfield accuracy. That it is what it is, you know.
One of the things we always talked about in recruiting was, how does Alabama convince all their juniors to come back? Well, part of it was, of course, he can always sell them on national championships and coming back to win a national championship. But the bigger part of it was they had NIL deals before there were NIL deals. They were able to convince later round draft pick kids to come back because of what they were making the old-fashioned way, if you get my drift.
I'm looking it up. 4th-round draft pick salary range for the NFL.
Through neighborhood barbers.
It's about $650K is what a 4th-round draft pick pays. So isn't that like within the realm of feasibility that you could find $600K for him in NIL deals to come back if you really wanted it enough? I could see it.
I made a joke about the barber when Preston just Driscolled me. Right, Preston?
What, I went missing after LSU has a big win and
no, you cut me
Notre
off,
Dame sucks.
And it reduced my volume maybe. I don't know. Brian Turner, Matt House has done an outstanding job with the defense, especially given depth issues. But will LSU ever have units as elite as the ones we have had in the past?
I mean, I think they can get there. I can't tell if you lagged out here, Mike. But, I mean, Matt House made some awesome halftime adjustments today. I don't think they have the Jimmies and Joes yet. Keep in mind, guys, we keep on telling you. They got about mid-60 scholarship players. They don't really have a ton of depth. A lot of these guys are new. They did lose one of their best defensive players. Harold Perkins is limited with the amount of snaps. Give him some time. Give him some time. I think this unit can get elite. It's just not this year. This year, they're not going to be a lights-out 10-point-per-game defense.
All right, and it's that time on the show, and let's hear from Kenny Haines.
Board-certified family law specialist Kenneth P. Haines is a highly skilled and experienced trial and appeal attorney with over 33 years of experience solving real legal problems for real people, specializing in all aspects of family law, divorce, support, custody, and property. Your standards are high, so are ours. For representation in Northwest Louisiana, call attorney Kenny Haines at 318-222-2100.
And there he is, Kenny Haines, the unofficial official lawyer of TigerBait.com, and he reserves the right to think most clearly for a paying client. We thank Kenny for being a sponsor of the show, and of course, one of our best subscribers and commenters on our TigerBait premium message board. Go to TigerBait after the show, subscribe, try us out for $1. Got a lot of recruiting stuff coming your way. Last night I was in Lafayette. I keep having to go west, even though I'm living in Baton Rouge now. I see I'm heading out to the Lafayette area. Westgate at LCA, and LCA laid the wood to Westgate, but got a lot of footage. There were 4 Well, 3 were playing. Derek Williams was not participating. So got a lot of footage coming there and some interviews. I think maybe we might have a commitment or so. I've been hearing some rumors. But, man, talk about what LCA did last night. They've got a big district over there that's between what Turlings is doing. They lost to STM last night in a close one. And so LCA and STM play each other in 2 weeks. And so we're going to see how that plays out. Yeah, Huey Lipsy. If LSU beats Alabama, the season could end 10-2.
If LSU beats Bama, the season will end 10-2.
Look, without knowing what Tennessee is going to do the rest of the way, I'm assuming they're going to continue on their trajectory. But I don't think there's any doubt that what Brian Kelly has done has him second in the league for SEC Coach of the Year. And he's there. I mean, 8-4 was the mark. And can he even get beyond that? I mean, could he pull a 9-3? I don't know. So, yeah, Dane Bergeron. Mike just can't stay away from Lafayette. Well, it wasn't exactly Lafayette. I was at St. Martinville the 2 weeks previous.
Gotta love that 337.
Yeah.
But hey, the 337 is good to LSU on the recruiting trail.
Absolutely. Mike Collins, hey guys, the LSU versus Alabama game at night. I believe it is going to be. We'll find out Monday, but I believe that will be a night game.
And it should be because Tennessee plays Georgia on that day.
That'll be 2:30.
So that'll be your CBS 2:30. I can't imagine a world where ESPN won't give LSU the 7 p.m. kickoff for that.
So then the question becomes, what time would it be? Would it be a 6, maybe an 8?
No way to know.
James Wade, Matt House is giving me Dave Aranda vibes, second half adjustments.
Great comment.
Absolutely right, James. What he did is amazing because Ole Miss was doing what they wanted in the first half. And between the adjustments they made and getting guys positioned right, changed the scum.
Are you breaking up there, Mike? Yeah, he's kind of frozen there. Are you back? I think you're back.
Yeah, we cut out some.
All right, so between the schematics and adjustments, keep on going.
Yeah, and personnel. He made some personnel changes.
Yeah, he did.
I need to go back and watch it and chart it and then look at the participation chart. But there was obviously they made some moves there. Guys, hit the like button if you're enjoying the show. Please do that. And after we're done on the show, you're going to want to go to TigerBait.com. Preston stories up. I've got Brian Kelly's post-game, Jay Daniels' post-game interview video, Will Campbell, and I've got Josh Williams. I still need to load up that I haven't gotten up yet, so that'll come up after the show. But we're going to be here for a little while. We're going to be going as long as you guys want to. 5 million. Loving the coaching job so far. I mean, I felt like he would, but my expectations so far remain the same. If we win, we are overachieving. If we lose, we're playing with house money anyway. Absolutely. Go Tigers.
That's a good way to put it.
No, it is. I think, anyway, they're going to get the 8 wins. And so anything beyond that is lagniappe and going to go to a decent bowl. You're going to have a top 5 recruiting class. And so this is how you want it to this year to play out.
So, Mike, let me ask this. When LSU got that roster and Brian Kelly's watching that disaster of a Texas Bowl and knowing you only have 12 players committed and all your quarterbacks are transferring out, what was the bar for wins at that very point? What was the expectation, reasonable expectation for wins for Brian Kelly right then, right there?
Man, I don't remember what my line of thinking was. Like what I would maybe was I kind of like Matt McMahon when he first got the LSU basketball job before he started loading the wagon?
I was. Oh, yeah, I was. I mean, look, that team that took the field in the Texas Bowl, that's a 3-9 team. Now, I think the expectation is that you build upon that and get 2 or 3 wins. I think the expectation would have been 6 wins, which you're already there. By the time the season came around and you saw that transfer portal and all that good stuff, what Vegas have LSU at? 7.5?
They started off in the 6s.
Yeah,
in the
6.5 maybe. Yeah. Well, the guys who took the over are making some money because LSU will get a win before this season's up.
Absolutely. I saw one I need to get to. There it is. Dane Bergeron with a super chat. Thank you, Dane. Preston has a new baby arrived. That'll be Monday, Dane. I returned today after duck hunting the past 2 weeks in Notre Dame and might have missed you mentioning it.
The baby's not arrived. The due date is Monday. I did not go to Tiger Stadium today just in case. We didn't have anything yet. But we're not inducing. We're just going to, whenever the good Lord says it's time to go, we're going to go.
So y'all keep Preston a list in your thoughts that everything goes 100%. Fire 3449, Mike, with both LSU and Tulane winning today, who is ranked higher?
LSU should be ranked higher.
Tulane is well coached, and they're having a really good season. I don't know what the final was, but they were laying the wood to Memphis last I saw in the press box.
Yeah, they were. LSU should be ranked higher, but this AP is they're very conservative with their ballots.
Jason Champagne, in their SEC wins, you can really see how LSU's conditioning is superior. Couple that with the incoming talent next year, and you'll have a serious playoff contender. I'm going to be real curious to see what the total high school haul is going to end up being, high school player haul in the class of 23, and then what the number of transfer portal kids ends up being. So remember, it's about your number in the summer, 85, not a class of 25. There's no longer a class of 25. You just have to be at 85 to start August camp.
It's hard to quantify your strength and conditioning program, but let me try my best. LSU ended the Florida State game on a 22-7 run. LSU ended the Mississippi State game on a 31-3 run. LSU ended the Auburn game on a 21-3 run. LSU ended the Ole Miss game on a 42-3 run. It's not like LSU has 150 players ready to play football. It's not like they're insanely deep. So how can you give anything the strength and conditioning but A++? They are dominating the back end of games, y'all.
Absolutely. Look at you rattling that off. That was impressive.
Bring!
Yep. Hal Jubin, Mike, we find out, and by the way, Mike, we'll find out Monday, but is LSU Bam? Yeah. No, it won't be 11. It'll be night. And I think there was some little tidbits we were hearing from SEC type people in the press box tonight that it should be night. Huey Lipsy, thank you for the super chat. Love the somber surprise look on BK's face in the second half. I'm thinking he was surprised of LSU's play. I purposely did a screen grab of Kelly for my front page of TigerBait that's associated with his video. It was kind of a look of a smirk, like, how do you like me now? You know, or how do you like them apples? But no, he was really good with the media. Go check that out on our TigerBait YouTube channel.
A great barometer for how successful someone is how good a program or program, professional team, whatever it is, before, during, and after. Before he got to Notre Dame, it was a dumpster fire. During his reign, it was the most successful tenure they've had since the internet was invented. After, they are 4-4 since he's left. Meanwhile, he's gone to LSU, where he inherited a terrible roster, and he just beat the 7th-ranked team by 25 points. How you like them apples?
Absolutely. Huey, thank you for the super chat. Thank all you guys for those super chats above. That's big time for you guys to do that. And we, of course, put it right back into TigerBait and equipment, and maybe we'll order some of that fancy Elon Musk internet equipment with some of the dropouts we've had tonight. Big group in here tonight. Thank you all for joining us. Please spread the word, share it to your social media, Facebook, Twitter, any LSU groups you're a part of, text it to your friends. Very much appreciate you guys tuning in to us each and every week. And as always, hit the like button. And if you're not already a subscriber to our YouTube channel, I think probably with some of you guys that are in the show tonight, if you subscribe to our channel, you're going to get us over the 15,000 mark, maybe during this show or by the end of the weekend. So hit the subscription button and that notification bell. If you go look at our listing on our TigerBait YouTube channel, you see that we're loading up loads of content throughout the week. Preston does his shows on Tuesday night, although I'm not.
I don't know.
You're not going to be doing a show this week.
Probably not. Yeah, wife with a baby, but I don't know. I might look up Tuesday morning and say, "You gonna have a baby?" And we'll see.
Or maybe you can do it Thursday night.
That's what I'm thinking. There might be some flexibility in there. Like if she ain't gonna have the baby, if I get interrupted, I might push it back and do whatever. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
You can hold the baby up onto your camera.
Yeah, I might bring another hated LSU guest on. Who's the next most hated person in the LSU community? I'll bring him on. We're on a roll with that.
Driscoll.
He's not invited back on the show. He won't come at me on Twitter. He likes to do all these shows where he just yells all over you and won't let you get a word in edgewise, and it's just exhausting because he doesn't have a life, and then you want to get off the show.
Thank you, Huey. Hal Jubin, Michael, you and Buddy doing a show. Absolutely. We'll be doing it during the open date. There is no Brian Kelly press conference on Monday, and there is no Brian Kelly TJ Rib show on Thursday either. So it is absolutely a wide open date. And I was told that Brian Kelly is actually going to hit the road and be recruiting. He might actually be in a high school stadium on Thursday or Friday night.
I was told Brian Kelly doesn't like to recruit during the bye week, though, Mike. How can that be right?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm told he's heading out.
Important anecdote tonight. For the 22nd consecutive season, LSU has a bowl-eligible record. Now, remember, 2020, they finished 5-5, but they had a self-imposed ban. But for the 22nd consecutive season, they will finish their regular season at 500 or above.
Gary Monday, down 70-3, and I've learned not to worry. I don't think that's the way you wanted to draw it up. Absolutely. Dane Bergeron, Gilbo is curses on the audio. Scooter Hobbs is hated in Southwest Louisiana. He is another LSU hack. Shoot, man, Scooter's one of your most decorated journalists.
I don't know if Scooter would know how to work a webcam.
Yeah. I tell you what, back in the day, Scooter had a lot of good humor in a lot of his columns, but I never get to read him. I don't know. Is the American Press even online? I don't even know. Yeah. It used to be for the longest time, American Press wasn't even online.
It's kind of funny how this industry has just been flipped on its head over the last 20 years. So you still have these guys doing it very different.
Palermo Trapani, Tolan is from Baltimore, Maryland, I do believe. And yeah, he was inserted tonight. That's one of those second half adjustments. Yeah, Fred Wright, recruiting Kelly, what? I tell you what, man, I saw Frank Wilson again last night. I know Sloan's gotten out. I tell you what, coaches going out and recruiting is and particularly now with there's so much media attention and immediate games looking for coaches and wanting to tweet about them. I mean, I do it. I'm guilty of it.
Yeah.
So let's say Brian Kelly goes out Thursday night or Friday night. And depending on which kid he goes see, well, there's another kid out there that says, well, how come they...
Mike, you breaking up? Are you back? I'll tell you what I'm interested to see in this bye week, y'all, while he does all this recruiting on the road. And Mike, you're back now, but I'm going to let you comment on what I started talking about anyways here. Desmond Ricks got reclassified to class of 2023. Was that yesterday or today? You don't have too much time now to get on him. You were kind of coasting with him as a 24 kid. Do you think Brian Kelly takes this bye week to put the full court press on him? You know that's a position of need.
I'm going to be real curious to see how that plays out. Believe me, I think a lot of those coaches knew that those things were in the work. I know of a couple of other kids that are talking about reclassifying. Not for this year, but next year. And so we'll see how that plays out. Yeah. Preston likes, let me know if y'all in the comment section, if y'all like Preston chewing ice into his microphone.
My bad, y'all. Woo.
You can take the boy out of Christian life, but you can't take, okay. Never mind.
Ooh, I don't know if I'd make that comment after how the school shut down, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, they aren't, Jason. Absolutely.
The
See,
internet.
right now, it looks like I'm flying, and then I'm going to get. And I'm on the fancy fiber at my current location.
Yeah.
But apathy. At least when Kelly says they have a lot to clean up, it gets better. When Dennis Allen says they have a lot to clean up, it stays dirty.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
That's a sign of a good coach. If you see issues and you go address them and get them fixed. 0 muffed punts. It has been approximately 7 days since LSU has fumbled a muff punt. What did you think about Noah Cain returning punts? And what did you think about the thunderous applause for a fair catch?
Yeah, that was hilarious. When that was one of the loudest ovations of the day when a fair catch was made and made cleanly. The fans have a sense of humor. Did I hear right that they said that the band played net? Because I wasn't paying attention.
I didn't catch it on TV.
I waited we have to get down the elevator, and they block out all the elevators for coaches in the last 3 minutes, and I was late getting to the elevators, so I had to go down the stairs from the top of the stadium all the way down, and so I missed the last LSU touchdown, and I got down the field with 15 seconds left in the game. So I think there was some stuff that took place that I missed. Andy Whitaker. Preston, when you having Driscoll back on, please reach out to him.
He's been missing. No one can seem to find him as Notre Dame.
His takes were so asinine.
I mean, it was just a waste of time, y'all. I mean, it's not good. I mean, if he wants to come at me on Twitter where you have to bring relevant facts. You can't just, talk about obscure BS. Meanwhile, your program's 500 and LSU's doing just fine. Congratulations.
LSU Sports Fanatic. Offense was a work of art. I tell you what.
Looks good.
You had Jaden Daniels. Let me pull him up.
LSU had 500 yards tonight.
Jaden Daniels, 21 of 28, 248 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's got a rating of a quarterback rating of 173. He rushed for another 121 yards. I mean, so what does that give him total offense?
I already calculated it up. 2,336 yards. He has 21 touchdowns on the year. He has 369 yards in this game.
His total for tonight.
369 yards. 5 touchdowns. If you have him on your fantasy team, you're just winning the league. You're just straight up mopping it, y'all. He's killing it. 3 touchdowns on the ground. And look, Denbrock he's learning how to call an offense for Jaden Daniels. This thing, the players aren't just learning, the coaches are learning. Jaden Daniels is on pace to have 34 total touchdowns this year. 3,500 total yards, okay? He broke Jordan Jefferson's record. He's now the all-time leading rusher for a quarterback in a single season history for touchdowns and rushing yards. They've played 8 freaking football games.
48 total carries for the running backs, and they still averaged over 5 yards per carry. Incredible night running the football. John Emery. We still don't know why John Emery did not play, but Armani Goodwin was back. He showed flashes. Josh Williams, what a story that is. Another fantastic game for him.
Mike, I want to clarify what you said, though. It wasn't for the running backs.
Oh, that includes Daniels.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels had 23 of your 48 carries. He's your leading rusher. Yeah, so your running backs had about 25 carries for about $125.
Absolutely.
But at this point, you have to consider Jaden Daniels as part of your running game. I mean, not to take a jab, because a lot of people have called him a running back playing quarterback, but he almost is part of your backfield.
When do you ever see a stat like that? Red zone 6 for 6.
When Jaden Daniels is your quarterback?
8 penalties for 71 yards, and Ole Miss 10 for 111.
Yeah, the 18 for 182 yards, that's wild. The refs were not letting him play football. I thought some of the calls against LSU were ticky-tack. I thought some of the calls for LSU were ticky-tack. They did wipe off a targeting on a late hit on Jaden Daniels, but they were really in their face. I thought some of their replays were petty. Didn't he have a comment on the SEC teleconference about they do too many replays? It's almost like they were putting Brian Kelly in his place. We'll show you what too many replays was.
That is another instance right there where local media will be at a press conference and we don't think nothing of a throwaway line or a question that came and went, and then all of a sudden it goes viral. No, nobody locally thought anything of him talking about that here locally, and the next thing you know, it's on Yahoo and everywhere else.
It is
And
funny.
that was from the coach's show, but he had addressed it on Monday as well. Same thing with the Mulkey thing and Griner and some other things we've seen.
And Leah Van.
Exactly. It's amazing. And then started all off at the beginning of the year, him talking with a Southern accent. Nobody here thought that at all. Did you?
I don't know. I zoned out. Some of these comments are cracking me up tonight. Y'all are killing me.
What is it?
No, I'm not reading this one. Skip it. Andy's cutting up tonight.
Oh, okay.
Cole Adams has a good comment there, though. Pull that one up.
You put it up. You see it.
Mason Taylor, Will Campbell, Emory Jones, Garrett Dellinger, Harold Perkins, Mason Smith, Savion Jones, Demario Tolan, Sage Ryan, Walker Howard, Shelton Sampson.
I saw Walker Howard at the end of the game. He had about 3 girls around him, selfies galore. Those kids, those players were having a great time. Malik Neighbors, I think, was one of the last, if not the last player to make it into the locker room. He stopped right at the back line and started doing some sort of dance, and people were going berserk. Those LSU kids loved that home win today. For a lot of them that are first-year players for LSU, they really haven't experienced a really electric atmosphere like it was today for LSU. And of course, we're at the end of October. It's getting darker early, so you had a big flavor of Tiger Stadium at night towards the end. Cortland Jacob, I don't understand how people can claim he faked a Southern accent when family isn't a 3-syllable word in the South. Yeah, Cortland, I was watching that live, and I didn't see it at all.
You know what it sounded like to me? And I do this all the time, like me as a speaker, where I'll start saying one word, but then I meant another word, so I call an audible. It sounded like he meant to say friends, but then realized there's no friends with him, so he called it so family.
Trey Potam, Mike reports said Emory tweaked his knee in warm-ups. Okay.
That makes sense. Okay.
There you go. Man, that kid needs some good luck. Wayne Clark, Kiffin looked like a young boy pouting in his press conference, could hardly hear what he was saying. I did notice that Ole Miss did not load up his press conference, whereas the official Ole Miss YouTube channel.
Mike's kind of breaking up there, so I'll kind of take it here just so we aren't slow. Yeah, he's been pretty petty. Mike, you broke up. What were we seeing?
You're only going to be seeing from media outlets that were actually there.
Did you see LSU's Twitter? Brandon Barrio and the social team got a little petty with Ole Miss, retweeting him when he made fun of Brian Kelly for dancing with the recruit. And then Ole Miss, of course, posted the Lil Boosie set it off video, and LSU had some fun with that. LSU's social team was in mid-season form tonight.
Yeah. Absolutely. Andy Whitaker, do you guys agree now that Jaden Daniels is the second best quarterback since Jamarcus Russell? Look, I said that early in the season, didn't I, Preston?
You did. You did. I wasn't there yet, but I mean, look.
I was actually saying that the week that they lost to Florida State.
But look, if he continues to do what he's doing, absolutely. I mean, like I said, that trajectory, 34 touchdowns, 3,500 yards. Mettenberger only had 28 touchdowns.
He wasn't even near the passer that he is now.
And let's be honest, the team around Mettenberger was a hell of a lot better than what the Jaden Daniels team is around him. So absolutely, I'm on board with that. Second best since Jamarcus Russell. I mean, well, that would mean Burrow is the only better one. Is that right? I mean, I'm not. Yeah, the way he's playing, I'm not opposed to that.
I will tell you right now, any quarterback.
No, Rohan Davey was before Russell,
Man,
so no.
I don't want to get into the Matt Flynn thing, but.
Yeah, a championship quarterback, it's hard to.
You don't want to go there, but man. let's say anything past 2007,
Yeah.
I would take Jaden Daniels behind Joe Burrow.
You start to realize what a sad, sad room that has been for LSU since Jamarcus Russell.
And look, the kid's having fun. I keep saying that. How many times I've said it tonight? The kids are having fun. But Jaden Daniels, I think, is really loving the fact that things are going this way for him. Leaving Arizona State, coming to LSU, and the way things are progressing. You could just kind of see the glint in his eye in the locker room during his interviews.
No doubt.
Dane Bergeron, Jordan Jefferson was the second best quarterback. Noah could run that short side option like him.
Gary Croton, baby.
Dwayne D. Kiffin flat out said that Harold Perkins Jr. has absolutely destroyed them. I tweeted that out during the show. I said I tweeted that out during the game. I said even when he's not he was creating so much havoc on Dart. You got to get him back there, man. You got to.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the Harold Perkins doesn't have the offense. I mean, the defense completely memorized yet. You want his learning curve going all the way up, man. You got to keep him on the field. I think about that second win sack he had. Getting to the quarterback, I think there's a few guys who would have gotten there. That second gust to actually get him on the ground, the only player on LSU's roster who does that is Harold Perkins. The kid's a freak of nature. You got to get him on the field more.
I will say this, though. Jackson Dart took some shots all game long. That kid got pummeled. And that's another one of my tweets. I said, give that kid credit because that kid took a beating.
He did take a beating.
I mean, he got hit hard all game long. He's a tough kid. Rob Ritter, I took the over at 7.
I hope you're a lot wealthier now.
24-21, South Carolina over A&M. Boy, they're melting down in College Station.
Oh, boy, are they.
What did I tell y'all all off season? How many shows did I say don't buy the A&M? Of course, but I didn't think they'd be this bad. Sammy for shows wants Danny Etling. He'll take Danny Etling.
Danny Etling is a good quarterback.
Cortland Jacob Daniels is a different breed of dual threat quarterback that LSU has never had before. Cortland, what he does is devastating. I mean,
no doubt. It's like a greased pig out there.
That's so demoralizing to a defense. Jason Brumfield, ASU fans kicking themselves. They ran off the best quarterback they had since Brock Osweiler. What's that saying? LSU sports fanatic. Old BK ran the score up on. There you go.
I don't think he ran it up. He just did their thing. They weren't like swinging for the fences there at the end of the game. Ole Miss just couldn't stop them.
Dane Bergeron. Josh Williams runs like a smaller Jeremy Hill with less speed. Reminds me a lot of Jacob Hester as well. Man, if you stand there in the locker room when Josh is in street clothes and you see his size, you want to talk about a tough kid.
He's little. You know what he reminds me of is Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
And look at BK light up like a Christmas tree when he talks about how he chips and how good of a blocker he is. I had a conversation with a staffer talking about all the little things that Josh Williams does and how technically sound he is. And so you can't write a better story about a kid than Josh Williams coming as a walk-on when he had scholarship offers elsewhere because he wanted to be a Tiger so bad. And so good for him to have the success that he's having.
I would love to have Josh Williams on my show one day and just have like a crow eating session because I've said some things like, okay, he's your fourth back. He's not as good as your typical fourth back at LSU. And now he's literally your best back on the team.
Otis Ottenberry, defense and JD5 wins again. Thank you for the super chat, Otis. Is that a play on moving some letters around? That's a unique name, Otis with a D. Thank you for the super chat, Otis.
I saw a comment earlier. If LSU beats Bama, Jaden Daniels is in the Heisman conversation, and I don't think he's like front runner or anything like that, but I did agree with that comment that, yeah, Keep them playing. Go hang 6 touchdowns on Bama. See where the conversations go. Go ahead.
Cortland Jacob, Jimbo is a dumpster fire. Dwayne D. The final nail in the slow bringing along of Perkins was him taking the ass chewing after the penalty, yet Kelly sent him right back out there to seek and destroy. Can you say Bama spy?
Bama spy.
Well, you get an open date. Let's see what this coaching staff comes up with Alabama coming to town. And like we said, we believe that's going to for sure be a night game. Jason Brumfield, Harold Perkins closes space so fast when rushing the passer. I like that he took some coaching and shook it off and kept playing. He's a heck of a kid. I think if you wanted to play him at running back, he could be your best running back. I think he's your best defensive player, period. I'll say it. I think his future is better than any other defensive player in that football field right now. And I think he could return kicks and punts. I think he's that special. He returned kicks in high school, by the way. Would Matt House allow him, would he allow Pauline to use him as a kick returner? I wonder what that conversation would be like. Dane Bergeron, you guys are dogging on Matt Flynn. LSU won a national championship with him at quarterback, and he played several years in the NFL. Not his fault. He had needed for a head coach. I'm not dogging on Matt Flynn.
I think dogging and saying, who's better between him and Jane Daniels. I'm not necessarily committing to one or the other.
Let me ask you this, though. And Matt Flynn had a long career in the NFL.
10 years.
And how many of those is a backup?
All of them?
8, 9?
It was like 10 years.
And so that's awesome.
Yeah.
But if you had to say which quarterback is a better in today's current NFL game, which between Matt Flynn and Jane Daniels, which guy is a better NFL quarterback for today's NFL offenses?
Well, I'll tell you what, I would love to see Jane Daniels get drafted somewhere like Baltimore, and see what happens sitting behind a guy like what's his name, Lamar Jackson. And
that's who he reminds me of.
Yeah, he's very much Lamar Jackson-esque. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, he's not there yet.
Oh no! He's in that mold.
But also remember the Lamar Jackson that faced LSU in a bowl game, and he didn't look very Lamar Jackson-y, did he? Didn't see a whole bunch of Mike Jones today. Injury? Anybody? I don't know that he's injured.
I just think Baskerville is playing out of his mind, and he was so close to a pick 6, and that would have just been the epitome of just a absolute clobber knocking of Ole Miss at that, because weren't they up 45-20 at that point? That would have been hilarious. But I think between Baskerville and Perkins, I think he's just kind of becoming a guy in the shuffle.
I think we both went out just now. Tasha Tigers in here. Go Tigers. Thank you, Tasha. Perkins was getting hit by the lineman while on the ground, so he probably had some choice words for him.
Got to keep you cool. You can't get 15-yarders.
Cole Adams told and outplayed anything Mike Jones has done. Absolutely. I love Mike Jones, though. But
I understand it's good to have players like Mike Jones providing quality depth. Like that's what good teams are made of, is quality depth.
Absolutely. Let me scroll down here.
I like the comment. Go ahead and get
James
this one.
Wade. I remember that play in the bowl game when Jamal Adams tracked down Lamar Jackson sideline to sideline.
Remember that play where Darius Geis laid out the kicker? That's my favorite play from that game. Hey, I want to put this one up here. More of a dumpster fire, Texas A&M or Notre Dame, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Texas. Notre Dame for sure. Notre Dame's, they're celebrating a win over UNLV today.
Guys, thanks all of you for the super chats. Thanks to Preston. Keep Preston and Alyssa in your thoughts. Baby coming on Monday. Go to TigerBait, subscribe. Try us out for $1. Got a lot of recruiting info coming your way. And the whole front page is post-game coverage. I think almost all of it's free. Brian's got an instant analysis piece. That one item is premium. But we got a lot coming your way on TigerBait. Subscribe. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell. And go follow me on Twitter at Scarborough Mike. And you can follow Preston on Twitter at PGuy77. Is that right?
Underscore. For some reason, PGuy77 was taken oddly specific, but whatever.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button, share, and we'll see you next week. Good night.
Night, y'all.